Make me look like a liar. Oh, here we go. This is the computer talking to you. This is something you're going to be seeing a lot throughout the run because it's a very chatty computer. And since this is a race and not the normal in-game timing we use for the leaderboards, text mashing actually is important now. So you're going to be seeing them try to get through it as fast as possible every time it pops up.
Oh man, Mandatoby with the faster text mash, and is now ahead by about 6. No, and
Ooh, drops
he
the
misses
climb.
the climb. I was gonna say Toby was about 67 frames ahead of Scrubbuster or something like that, or maybe like 30 frames. But now that's doesn't matter.
It's interesting to note that movement in this game is actually really important. There's a lot of little things you're going to be seeing them do throughout that add up to save a lot of time throughout the run. But one of the most challenging movement tricks is actually right there at the beginning, which is that climb you saw. Because wall jumping in this game is a little bit finicky. You can't single wall jump like you can in Super Metroid. And also, you have to be lining up the bottom part of Samus's sprite with the very top part of those platforms. So the spacing is very tight, and being able to pull it off is a lot harder than it looks. Even top tier runners will drop it.
You have to make sure that Samus's foot is touching the wall before you can. That's the general visual cue. Making sure that Samus's foot is touching the wall before you can do a wall jump.
Yeah, but now here we have the computer telling us that yes, indeed, it is the X-parasites that are causing trouble. They've caused an explosion, and now they're gathering somewhere. We're probably about to have a sweet party, and you're not invited, and the computer wants you to work your way in.
And it kind of makes sense, though, in terms of wall jumping. In Super Metroid, you can have Samus wall jump off her helmet, which doesn't make sense in real life, because who can do that?
Yeah, the wall jump in Super Metroid is broken compared to the one in Fusion.
Yeah, and Zero Mission acts the same way too, where there has to be a foot touching the wall.
Yeah, so I would say that the Super Metroid's wall jump is by far the most forgiving of the 3 games' wall jumps. But, hey, good news, everybody. Scrubbuster and Mandatoby are on their way to get missiles. Because right now they're just working with their little pea shooter, and that's just not going to hack it. And speaking of which, unlike other Metroid games in this game, power-ups don't come from Chozo statues or killing Chozo statues. It comes from downloading them from the internet, and from other Core X's, and from Core X's. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to walk over here into this large upright pirate bay and download missiles. And shortly after that, we're going to be on our way to the first boss, who will give us another ability.
Yeah, I don't agree with Samus illegally downloading weapons.
I don't know, the Galactic Federation said it's okay, so is that subversive, or does that give her a pass? I don't know.
Well, I mean, if they told you it was okay to steal money from the bank, would you still do it?
I don't know, Ross. I haven't been awake for half an hour. It's too early for me to figure out to have these moral quandaries. Why would you do this? Feasel putting it to rest, saying that Samus owns the original hardware, so it's fine. Thank you, Feasel. Shout outs to Feasel for keeping things running both behind the scenes and in the commentator booth.
Ooh, well, I guess if Samus doesn't share the hardware for profit, then it's okay.
That's very true. Toby having trouble with this eye door, though. Trying to get the double missile on the eye door, not getting it. Because, can we talk for a moment about eye doors and why they're one of the most annoying RNG things in this game?
Interestingly enough, despite the runners having a hard time with eye doors, they're still neck and neck. So they must have had like equal beams or something.
Yeah, they both got a lot of beams, but hey, we don't even have time to talk eye doors. It's about time for Arachnus, and they're both going to want to just pepper him with missiles and hope he doesn't roll like he just did for Toby. What a jerk. Oh, he did it for Scrubbust as well. Now here comes the Korax. We talked about them. They will give you power-ups. And, ooh, Toby getting the double missile, and Scrubbuster getting the double missile and the sweet spot, so he caught up despite getting the slightly worse Arachnus pattern.
This is the type of race that I like to see where eye doors make it so that the race stays close and not a huge disparity. Like, for example, a 8 beam versus a 0 beam.
Oh my god, yes. Or later on, just a 0 beam versus a 4 beam is enough to still make up a lot of time. But don't worry, we'll come back to some of those terms we threw around, just that right now things are happening kind of fast, so we don't have time to mention them all at once. And they really are almost they're on the same screen transitions.
And Mandatoby's slightly faster.
His mash is faster, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna judge off of the first cutscene and say Toby's going to gain a little bit more time here with better text mash.
Yeah, Toby's text match is a bit faster. Oh, Toby opting to not grab that missile tank. I've seen I think I've seen one other person do that as well, opting to get it later when you come back to the main deck, which I think is a questionable choice. I'm not sure if I like it, just because Sector 1, your missile count is actually pretty critical. So not having those extra 5 missiles in Sector 1 coming up here is something I would not opt to do. So interesting for Toby decides to do that. I'll mention one other thing you might have been seeing, though. You may have been seeing that when the runners are jumping up onto higher platforms, somersaulting, they will shoot right before they land. That's actually a very small optimization. Normally, well, jumping is slower horizontally than running, so when you see one of them shoot to pop out of that somersault sooner, Samus hits the ground a few frames faster, and which lets her start running sooner. And like I said, it only saves frames, but you're doing this throughout the run, and a run is well over an hour and a half, so that adds up, especially when they're this close to each other.
Yeah, there's so many jumps in the game that if you were to optimize all the jumps, you could save time, and it would be noticeable time save versus, for example, in Super Metroid, arm pumping throughout the whole game will save you like maybe a half second or something like that. For Fusion, it's different. You will actually see improvement in your time if you optimize the jumps.
Yes. Oh, RNG rears its ugly head again, because in Sector 1, the gimmick here is there are 5 atmospheric stabilizers that are acting up because they're infested by the X. And they move up and down over a little area. So you're hoping when you get there, they line up so you can just shoot 3 missiles into them, but if they're a little bit too high or a little bit too low, your missiles tink. And like I mentioned, here in Sector 1, missile count is really important. Because there's a few things later on before you need the missiles for the next eye door and for space pirates in a climb, because you cannot kill them with your beam. And Toby's already really hurting for missiles. Skipping that missile tank, this is what I was worried about. So let's see how he pulls it off. Oh, he's going to be really hoping for some green X drops. But he's getting only yellows because he's not at full health. Oh boy.
He'll get a green here from the stabilizer. However, after that, he'll have to farm some... Well, no, he'll have exactly 3.
Oh, he missed it! Oh no, Toby.
Yeah, it's gone. He's gonna have to kill some of the frogs.
Oh no, this is bad. If he doesn't get any green drops in this next room, he's in real trouble, because you need missiles to deal with the pirates in the next vertical shaft.
Or just to kill the stabilizer.
Or just to kill the stabilizer. Yeah, he's got 2, needs another one.
Fortunately, these frogs spawn infinitely. He'll just have to wait.
Yeah, okay, he's got enough, but this is still going to leave him in a bad spot for the vertical shaft. But that's all it takes for Scrubbuster to pull ahead.
Yeah, if I were him, I'd get one more drop, whether it's the yellow or green. Because if this pirate spawns 2 yellows, then He's gonna. Oh,
He
and
missed.
he misses.
He misses.
He's
I
gonna
was gonna have to do an
avoid.
alternate climb.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty styling. Well done, Toby. Unfortunately, it still leaves him with the problem of he has no missiles for the eye door. The next room has another eye door. He needs 3 missiles for that. Alright, he's got 2. He's still going to be 1 short.
He's gonna have to walk into the room to the bottom left to kill some frogs.
Oh, this is an unfortunate time loss for him.
Yep, and he'll constantly. You could either respawn the room, or reset the room, or just wait for the frogs to show up. He decides to get only 4, so his leeway for doubles here.
He took one chance and
first
didn't get
double.
it.
I don't think he's going to attempt the second double here. Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully, every eye door you kill drops a red X, which this early on will completely refill him. But all this time wasting with missile shenanigans means that Scrubbuster has already killed the boss and is on his way forward, and Toby hasn't even started the boss fight.
Yeah, this is exactly why you need to have max health throughout Sector 1. Taking damage anywhere like cuts your missile pickup significantly, and you need basically all of it.
Yeah.
Well, not so much in 100%, but Mandatoby did skip the main deck missiles, so he was already down 5 to begin with. And when you run through every room using missiles in every single room, you're going to run out, and if you don't have max health, you won't get missiles.
Indeed. But he makes up some time there by getting the perfect double-double on that Core X. Which... double missiles I'm gonna talk about real quickly here. Basically, the cores, when you shoot them with a missile normally, they have invincibility frames for a few seconds, but if you're able to hit them with 2 missiles on the exact same frame, then you get 2 hits before those invincibility frames. It's tight, but it's not as hard as you might think, although it is definitely harder on the beam cores, like the one that they just fought, because you have to get it into the eye, which is why he was jumping against the ceiling and shooting 2 missiles straight down. Against other cores, it's a bit different, which we'll talk about again when we get to them, but now they both have a charge beam, and the charge beam is one of the best things in this entire game.
I wonder if... No, never mind.
What?
I mentioned earlier how Mandatoby managed to convince his runner last year to do a 100% race in the any percent tournament, and when I was thinking about Mandatoby skipping main deck missiles, I was wondering if he convinced Scrubbuster to do any percent instead.
Possibly, but doesn't look like it so far.
No, but they picked up the E-Tank in Sector 1, which is something you don't do in any percent, so
Yeah.
it's not, I don't think it's in any percent race.
Nah, it most certainly is not. That's just it, though. There's a few items... We usually have certain items we pass up on now because we get them later during cleanup. Like, there's a missile tank near a save room that we went right past but didn't get. But for some other items, like there's a missile tank there. There's also a missile tank in Sector 4 and a couple of other spots. Sometimes there's technically an optimal fast route, but some runners will opt to get them later or earlier than you'll see most folks do, just because that's what they're comfortable doing.
I believe picking up the main deck missiles after animals is faster than picking it up at the first go around, because it saves you from a ledge grab. After you pick up that missile and you have high jump, all you have to do is ledge grab once versus twice at the start of the game.
Okay, that makes sense. But at the same time, most people grab it because of Sector 1 and having that really tight missile count.
Exactly.
But now they're both in Sector 2, and the gimmick here is the Galactic Federation has given us bombs to download, but they're in a security room behind a blue door. Oh,
So,
Scrub.
Scrubbuster is... I don't think he's aware of the angle lock that English tends to give the runners, where if you're holding an angle and you release the shoulder button, sometimes the game just keeps it locked that way. I think it's a bug in English. and it's very frustrating, especially coming out of navigation rooms. You may see that sometimes. So Scrub will have to get used to it here. I don't think he's primarily an English player. I mean, we saw him,
Yeah.
setting up for the English race.
Yeah, he plays pretty much entirely in Japanese, to my knowledge.
Yeah, and the Japanese version does not have that glitch. I want to say it's a bug or glitch, not necessarily a feature.
I honestly don't think it's either. I think it was probably just tuned that way from the beginning, and then after the version 1.0, they're like, you know what, it might work better if we do this, and they change it so it doesn't do that in later versions.
It is worth noting that Japanese was released after English, so all of the bugs and out of bounds glitches that you would see in English cannot be done in Japanese because it was patched.
I will make a couple quick notes here, though. Now that they have bombs, you'll notice that Scrub has been having some trouble running into those red Zorro guys. In Sector 2, this first time, much like missiles in Sector 1, health becomes the big issue. Because Zorros do 45 damage if you touch them, and it's really easy to run into them because they take 2 missiles or a full charge shot to kill. And if you're trying to run at full speed, you don't always have time to prepare, or if you miss with the 2 missiles. Thankfully, we have a couple of backups, because your charge beam has a fun thing where if you start charging it and then go through a door transition, you always come out the other end with a full charge. And on top of that, if you release the button while you're passing through the door, you fire that fully charged shot on the first frame possible, which in this case you saw them use to kill a Zorro in one of the rooms earlier, and also later on can be used to open those vertical gates, especially if you're speed boosting or going really fast, because otherwise you don't have enough time to break them before you run into them, but you do if you do the first frame shot.
Yeah,
but Sector 4 can be very dangerous. Sector 2 can be very dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous. There's the notorious Pancake that's already killed 2 runners.
They do more damage than you think.
Yeah, they do a lot more damage than you think. All of the enemies in Sector 2 are dangerous. Especially the Zorros. If you're not careful, if you're new to running this game, you're not careful, that will kill you. It will kill you if you run into too much.
Yeah, learning the movement in Sector 2 when you first learn this game is a matter of learning how to not run into all the Zorros, otherwise you will be dead by the time you get to this eye door. Speaking of eye doors, a charge beam lets us only have to deal with 1 weak spot instead of 3, because of one of its cool things, which is it's actually 2 shots, and it has a little flash you see on Samus's arm called a flare. If you hit an enemy with both parts of that charge shot and the flare, it does 26 damage, which is almost as much as 3 missiles. Which is pretty huge, and it keeps getting more powerful the more upgrades you get to your beams. So the charge beam is a constant companion and trustworthy friend in this game. But what isn't a trustworthy friend is the RNG, and Zazabi here, with his jumps, random number of jumps, can really ruin your day.
Yeah. I've had the pleasure of getting a 11 jump Zazabi last night in one of my any percent runs.
I saw that, and Scrubbuster getting fantastic luck on Zazabi, though.
Yeah.
Pulling ahead because of it.
Mandatoby going for the double-double, and he gets it.
Both of them getting that double-double.
Sweet spot, though.
Yeah, you may have seen them both wall jumping off the wall to fly at them from a high angle. That's because the Corex's hitbox is actually a square, even though it's round. So with that square hitbox flying at you from that angle, you can shoot 2 missiles vertically, and it'll fly into both of them at the same time. That's how you get a double missile on a non-beam Corex.
Oh, Mandatoby might actually catch up here, because I know Mandatoby does side skip.
Oh.
Scrubbuster is either not confident or playing it safe, because he is new to 100%. And Mandatoby does not fall through, so you'll have to back off here and wait.
What did he... Well, to be fair, if he was unconfident about the timing, you don't want... Yeah, if you don't make it into position the first try, there is no second try. If you go down there late, the SAX will kill you.
So Mandatoby tried to fall off the first available space. Basically, you'd have to fall off the left side of that gap in order to get this side skip properly. He tried to do it, but he looks like he stopped short and was not able to fall through and would have to wait. That was his chance to catch up. Unfortunately, he'll have to find somewhere else to catch up.
Okay, so someone letting us know that Scrubbuster does in fact know the sack skip, but opted not to do it, and that's totally fair because, like Rossi mentioned, we have had a lot of folks die to it in this tournament because it's a trick that's challenging and messing it up leads to death. There is no other you either get it or you die. There is no other end state.
Yeah, and so far of the runners who died to sack skip attempts are some of the better runners versus some of the not better runners, and even a 20-minute gap. The 20-minute gap is large enough that it basically guarantees a victory.
Yeah, look no further than my last race. I'm still relatively new to this, and my PB is a 122, and Hercules bench press, one of the best runners, died to the sack skip, and he made up 19 of the 20 minutes by the end of the race, but I still beat him.
Yeah,
so it's a race ending mistake if you get it more often than not.
Definitely. And another one was where it was Phase on Night versus Scotty. Scotty died doing sack skip, and Phase on Night just skipped it, and he was behind 20 minutes, and Scotty lost by like maybe 5 seconds or like less than a minute. So like the disparity between the two runners in terms of skill is pretty large. And even that was not enough for Scotty to come back and win.
Yeah,
so this
tournament has been an emotional roller coaster ride, and I've been loving it. But at the same time, my God, it's not doing good things for my heart. But let's mention for a bit about what the people are doing instead of waxing poetic here. They're in Sector 4 now, the only sector where you run off the elevator to the left instead of the right. But the gimmick here is the water is electrified, so we have to lower the water level. But along the way, there's a big, bad, fast worm thingy that we have to deal with. And it's kind of cool we do, and it's a good thing we have this charge beam, because this boss, Ceres, is actually possibly the best example of why charge beam is broken in this game. Ross, help me out here. Come on, give you a setup. I tried to give you the setup to talk a bit about Ceres and the charge beam.
Okay. Ceres has 50 health. And so basically, it would be a 5-round Ceres if you just missiled his face every time you saw it. But because of the charge beam and how it works and how Crunchy basically described the charge beam, it could be simplified to 2 rounds if you get the flare shot on Ceres whenever he's vulnerable. So you'll see both runners attempt that here. The first round is always free because it's a set pattern, but the second round will require some memorization of certain patterns. So Ceres has a total of 6 different patterns that he can do, and it's up to the runner to react to the pattern.
Yeah. Thankfully, though, the patterns come into pairs. So when you see Ceres' first pattern in the pair, you can tell where it's going to be for the second one, and that's how you can see them get into position to set up for the second hit here. Scrubbus looks like he gets the first hit exactly how he wants it, so this should be a 2-phase if he gets the 2-phase. Oh!
Just in time.
Gets into position just in time. The 2-cycle. Gets the first double. Doubles on Ceres Core X are a little bit dicey because of the water and having to actually get onto the monkey bars for a moment. But he gets the double and the sweet spot. Scrubbuster having as good a Ceres fight as you could hope to have.
Oh, Mandatoby missed! he missed this opportunity.
I think he would have been a little bit too far back to hit it with the flare, so it would have been a 3 cycle, but better to get the 3 cycle than... Oh, but he gets the 2 cycle anyway.
Yeah, it was a wise decision there by Mandatoby to not shoot at Saris, even though he was able to, because doing that would have triggered his speed booster again, and he'd have to wait even longer for him to be vulnerable. So good choice by Mandatoby there, although he could have walked up and got the point blank shot. Decided to play it safe there.
Now, Saris is definitely a fight that it's very daunting when you first learn this game, or it's also daunting casually because it moves so fast. But once you start getting the hang of it, it's a fight that can save you. You can save a lot of time on once you figure out the way it really works.
Yeah, unfortunately for Mandatoby, I would not make any more of those mistakes because, as we mentioned earlier, Scrub Buster has a 45 for any percent, and what 100% is basically any percent route. For most of the game, Scrub Buster is just retracing his any percent route, picking up a few extra items here or there. That means mechanically, Scrub Buster will be playing at his best when he's on that route, and then it'll come down to whether or not he's optimized the cleanup route or the cleanup stage. Mandatoby's been playing 100% for so long that it may give him a chance to catch up, but still, he needs to keep the pressure on Scrub Buster early on until they get a screw attack and start the cleanup.
Oh, someone remarking, did Toby get the missile tank? The one where you climb up before bombing the wall?
I think he did. He intentionally dropped the Shine Sparks so that he can run.
Okay. Oh, to Princess in chat, you're absolutely right in a lot of cases. Some items you miss will usually you can get them in cleanup, but Sector 4 is the exception. Sector 4 is the only sector where we actually have all the items in it before cleanup. So this is one where you don't want to miss something, because having to go into Sector 4 to pick up an item you miss is extremely costly.
Apparently he did not get it.
Oh no. Oh, that's bad.
Scrub Buster, it might be a routing choice, but we'll definitely keep tabs on that and make sure that...
Well, if he remembers by the time he gets to the diffusion missiles, he can make a slightly shorter detour to go get it, so here's hoping.
At this point, he'll have to make a massive detour to go back and get it. So yeah. Mandatoby is going to save some time against Scrub Buster sometime later in the game.
Although, at this point, only thing Mandatoby can hope for is that Scrub Buster, being an any percent runner, will make a similar mistake and forget an item somewhere as well, but I've only actually caught one other of Scrub Buster's runs, and he got everything, so I don't think that's something you can necessarily count on. I will say though, you're going to be seeing a lot of things involving the speed booster, because now that we have the speed booster in this game, it's an extremely useful ability. Not just because it blows things up when you run into them, but also because they added new bells and whistles to it. Now, using Shine Sparks horizontally is a lot easier than Super Metroid. You don't have to press jump and then left or right immediately. You press jump, which gives you a wind up, then you hold the direction you want. And on top of that, if you Shine Spark into a slope while you're going horizontally, you start running again. So you can actually change speed boosts together, which we're going to be doing in a couple of spots later. It's very useful, and we're very useful. We're going to be using it throughout the run. It's a reliable companion throughout. But once again, like in Sector 2, they're having to open the green doors this time so they can get the data room to get my favorite and the best missile upgrade, the Super Missile. Giving our anemic 10 damage missiles a boost to a...
Mandatoby with the wind
Toby.
spark.
I want to say Super Missile makes your missiles into a much beefier 50, I want to say. but most importantly, it also gives them the most satisfying explosion sound of any Metroid, and makes the screen shake when it hits things. So super missiles just make you feel really powerful when you use them. It's great.
All right. So Mandatoby getting the wind spark. He was catching up due to slightly better movement, but that wind spark cost him about 10 seconds. If he can get the shine break here, which he does, he'll catch up again. And I hope that he doesn't wind spark this one. All right. So last night in the 4-way race, we had a 4 out of 4 data spark. I want to see if they can get a 2 out of 2 data spark here. There's one. Mandatoby jumping through the door. He's gonna have a tight window to store a shine spark here. Oh, he's not gonna get the data spark.
Oh gosh, I just saw the clip that someone posted in chat. Toby missed a missile tank that you normally don't miss. So it's going to be one that that's definitely a forgetfulness and not a routing choice. But now with super missiles in tow, both of them are heading to fight our robot friend, Box, which is a fight that can be a little bit tricky because it has an annoying hitbox. So let's see how Scrubbuster deals with it here. Ideally, you want to kill it as far to the right as possible because it has to slowly. I'm sorry, what was that?
So my mistake there. We thought that Scrubbuster was the one who skipped something, but it turns out it was Mandatoby that skipped something.
Yeah.
So I did mention earlier that Mandatoby does things a little strangely to some people. So maybe it's all part of his plan. I don't know Mandatoby for forgetting things because he's played 100% so much that it to me would be uncharacteristic.
Yeah, but that missile tank in question is one that you never miss because it's just right along the way when you're falling down there. That one's one that I can only conceive of someone missing it if they literally just forgot or got distracted or something.
And I feel like he stopped. Like I looked at the clip. Like
Yeah.
he stopped and thought about it and then just went down anyway. To me, it looked that way. So we'll see what happens here.
I just don't know.
Maybe it's Mandatoby trying to catch up at the early game and hoping that he gets a strong enough lead that the detour might, be all right. I don't understand. I can't see his game plan here right now. He could have just simply forgotten to pick it up.
That could just be. I honestly don't know, but the thing is that if that is his plan, then that's still dependent on him pulling ahead. And right now, Scrubbuster has a lead, and it's not a lead of a couple seconds. It's a bit more than that. So he's gonna have to play cleanly and get good RNG, and Scrubbuster's gonna have to do the opposite. And Scrubbuster has not been doing the opposite. He's been playing well and getting good RNG. So.
Yeah, and Mandatoby is one of the few runners that actually does not get in the chat, in the speed gaming chat. He's running this probably completely unaware, unless somebody is reminding him on his chat, because he turns it off when he races.
Yeah. To be fair, I used to do the same thing, but then I realized that reading chat while you're racing actually makes me laugh pretty hard while I'm going, which keeps me relaxed. So I read chat as well now. But now, both of them heading into Sector 6, the Nocturnal chapter, which is very purple instead of dark, whatever. And we gotta watch out for are there blue X parasites from the ice sector. And remember how we saw Scrubbuster's cutscene, how Samus is part Metroid now? Metroids don't like ice, that's how you can freeze them with the ice beam. And I am so sorry about the plumbing. I have loud plumbing where I live. But those those blue X's, you don't want them touching you, because if you touch them, they don't heal you, they actually hurt you. And they don't hurt you a little bit, they actually hurt a fair bit.
Mandatoby keeping the race tight, not that far behind from Scarbusta, but we have to remember that he is missing an item.
Alright, here's the second SAX trick. What you're going to see them do, because neither of them are Scotty, is the SAX is going to drop a power bomb. It's going to take a couple of steps, and then they'll shoot it to make it run back and jump over them. But you have to be careful. If you shoot it too soon, it won't actually jump over you. It'll shoot diagonally down at you. And if it does that, you get frozen, and you're in real trouble. It's possible to survive, but it's very dicey.
I think that if they agreed to do 99%, they would probably skip the Sector 6 power bomb.
Yeah. Because that power bomb is... Oh, don't scrub us, please. Yeah, those blocks hide blue X parasites there.
Wow, did you see that? 2 red X's on
Two red, wow.
And they go right at him. So I think he picked up the Idor red X, so he just ate 3 red X's at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. No, he skipped that Idor red X. But
he had no beams on the red X, so that was on the core and I beam. And he's making short work of the giant core X, which is my least favorite boss in this game. I hate this guy. Because not only is keeping in position a little bit awkward when once you get really good at it, which I'm not, but Toby having trouble keeping in position. This is what happens if you don't get that quick positioning and bouncing it the way you want. You lose a lot of time.
Yeah, meanwhile, Scrubbuster getting the perfect fight with the sweet spot and the triple double, so saving a lot of time here versus Mandatoby, who had a difficult fight. We may see the triple double here, though.
We do.
And the sweet spot.
Very nice. What is important to note, though, that double missiles start becoming harder now, because now that they have super missiles, the missiles travel a little bit faster. And there's actually a slightly longer cooldown between shots. So you actually have to learn a slightly different timing to do double missiles now. And with every other missile upgrade that they get, it's going to be the same. So you actually have to end up learning a total of 4 different double missile timings throughout this run. And it gets harder with every new one. And unfortunately, that terrible boss that is the giant Korax also gives us the worst gift of all, which is the gross-looking Varia suit. I mean, look at this color combination. What were they thinking? God.
Looks great to me.
Oh, gosh, Ross, I didn't know you were colorblind. But thankfully, the Varia suit does come with some perks to balance out its very questionable looks, which are... It reduces damage, although you wouldn't necessarily know it, because things start doing a lot more damage at this point to balance it out. It makes it so that the SAX can't freeze you with the Ice Beam anymore, which is nice, although we're not going to be seeing the SAX for a while, so it's kind of moot. And third of all, cold rooms and hot rooms will no longer hurt you, which is the most useful thing about it. Feasel wishes he looked at that. Feasel, at AGQ, I expect you to be wearing a suit that looks like that.
You know
this is what I'm expecting now.
I will wear a banana suit.
It has to be a banana suit with those delightful fuchsia accents. But yeah, with Varia giving us the ability to deal with cold rooms, now we're totally set to go into Sector 5, which is the ice sector. And we're going to be going there to get the next missile upgrade, or missile downgrade, depending on how you look at it. The ice missiles, because Samus, being part Metroid, can't use the ice beam, so we have to do something else to freeze things.
The Varia puns.
Varia puns and Fiesel on his way to buy mustard. Yes, the mustard suit is the endearing term we give to the Varia suit in this game.
I mean, the mustard suit makes Samus look like she's wearing mustard, and so to the enemy, to all the creatures that you see in the station, to them it's saying, "Hey, I'm gonna put mustard on you because I'm going to eat you." So what Samus is actually doing is a fear tactic, scaring the enemies into thinking that she's going to eat them with mustard. So obviously, a really good suit in terms of functionality.
Psychological warfare.
Yep.
But once again, for the third time now, the gimmick in Sector 5 is that you have to go find the yellow security room so you can get to the data room, which is locked by yellow security door. Once again, we know exactly where it is, but it's a little bit more out of the way this time. I will remark though that the room coming up for Scrubbuster here is one of the things I actually really like about Fusion is that there's a small number of vertical rooms where the strats for climbing them are very, very cool. Like, just if you watch him cleanly climb this room, if you do it well, it just looks really sharp, and just the movement and the attacks just flow so well. We're going to be seeing it again later in Sector 3 when climbing up from the very, very bottom of that tall vertical shaft. And a couple of first frame release shots coming through the door to open gates. You saw it twice there on the way to the data room. And now Scrubbuster's missiles are demonstrably worse. Yeah, it does more damage. Yeah, it freezes enemies. But the problem is, A, it shoots more slowly, and B, even with more damage, even if they do enough damage to kill the enemy with the first missile, it always freezes the enemy. So you will never be able to kill an enemy with anything less than 2 missiles ever again, which is unfortunate. It makes passing through some rooms a bit trickier.
Yeah, and it makes it so that the beam is really solidified as the weapon of choice in this game, because now, like, it used to be that super missiles could one-shot these things, but now you can't even do that. So it's pretty lame. However, you will see them use missiles as a primary source of damage for 3 bosses coming up later in the game.
Yes.
Or 4, actually.
And Jiggly's saying that's not entirely true, actually. In Zero Mission, missiles are your primary source of damage. Your beam is not.
Yeah, and so, like, the only reason why for at least 2 of the bosses that you'd have to use missiles is because while you would have plasma beam there, the boss's hitboxes make it so that plasma doesn't go through them for more damage.
Indeed. Ross thinks something's wrong with my stream because I'm seeing bright red flashing on Scrubbusters. What's going on here?
It's a disco party.
Oh, fantastic. But what's this lady's voice saying, though? It sounds like she's saying some sort of emergency?
You have 6 minutes to disco before the lights turn off.
You have 6 minutes to disco before someone reminds you that it's not the 1970s anymore.
Yes. I mean, Metroid could be like Star Wars in the fact that this all happened a long, long time ago. So disco might be the thing still.
Or the popularity cycle could have come back around and disco is in again. But in any case, both of them are going to be heading down to the bottom of Sector 3 because that's where the actual party is, and they have 6 minutes to do it. But they're going to get there a lot faster. In fact, if everything goes well, you'll be seeing a 4:30 something on their timer when the party ends. And if things don't go quite as well, maybe a 4:20 something. And anything less than that, then either you just had a really bad emergency or you're me.
Scrub Bus is doing really well with the platforming here so far. I saw like one very minor mistake, but it's inconsequential. If he gets a 0 beam here, he'll finish with a high 4:30 or a mid 4:30. A high 4:30 would be like world record pace.
Yeah. Good recover. Good recover.
Yeah, good recovery there.
Didn't Paulsmore get the emergency world record in a race? I think he got like a 4:37.
Something like that, yeah.
I'm getting one eye beam.
But fortunately, the eye revealed itself fast. Like Scrub wasn't even ready to shoot the thing when the eye opened, so he may still get pretty decent time here.
Not getting that first double though, so he's shaping up to be a 4:20 something unless he has a lot more trouble with this. Oh yeah, it's a 4:20 something. It's not bad. It's pretty good. That's pretty decent.
Yeah, it was almost a high 4:20.
So Toby can gain some time back here, but he's not getting the doubles though.
He did get one double, I think.
He does have a slightly better time, a high 4:20. So yeah, Toby is definitely closing the gap here, but the problem is he's still missing that missile, and I'm really worried he doesn't even realize it.
Yeah, you'll see the runners position themselves in like strange ways when it comes to shooting missiles at the Corex, and it's not because it looks fancy or anything, but it is the optimal way to get 2 missiles in the same frame for double damage. Notably for beam Corexes, they would do it that way, but for normal Corexes, after boss fights, you'll see them do it from the ground shooting up.
Oh, Scrub Buster getting that vertical climb that it looks so satisfying. Freezing the stretchies as you go. And Toby doing the same thing here.
Oh, Toby doing a slightly slower version of it, but still pretty good climb from Toby.
Most definitely. Yeah, Scrubbuster still maintaining a lead, but Toby not giving even a fraction of an inch here. Staying right on him.
Yeah, Scrubbuster, like I mentioned earlier, he's still fresh on that 45 tied world record for any percent. So his movement is still pretty good, and he's not going to let up as long as he knows the route. And as I mentioned earlier, 100% is basically any percent route with extra items in it.
Right. Because unlike Zero Mission or Super Metroid, this game has a very draconic event system where basically different sections of the game are cut into pieces by computer conversations, and you can't do things out of sequence. The game just won't let you. If you try, you can't. I mean, this is the least flexible and most linear Metroid game, but even with that, it's still a great run. And when you get into cleanup, things open up a little bit, but yeah, you gotta do it the game's way. Both runners on their way up to the habitation deck because there are life signs, and spoiler alert, it's not people. It's something better than people. It's the animals, and we're going to save them.
Can we? I think this is a good time to check the donation bids for animals.
Okay, yeah. It seems that no one here cares about the animals because I have $0 for kill the animals and $0 for save the animals. What's going on here?
Oh, I guess we'll have to default to saving the animals
I guess so.
in case of tie, right?
Yep,
Scrubbus
that's how it works.
messing up the shine spark there. This will allow Mandatoby to catch up if he can get this shine break. He's in position for it. He actually stopped to make sure.
So yeah, so we have $0 donations for both categories, but Zeus has somehow gotten himself killed, even though he's not even in this race. I have no idea what's going on.
Shots fired.
No, I kid. I actually love Super Metroid speed runs, but a little part of me dies whenever like 3 out of 4 people die in those Super Metroid races.
It's Behemoth, our savior. Yeah, so far the race is pretty close. However, it is a deception because Mandatoby did miss a missile item in Sector 4. I'm really hoping that he realizes this early so that he can include it in his cleanup route.
Yeah, because the next closest he'll be to that is during underwater Sector 4, because when you come out, you actually go really close to where that missile tank is to pick up the final power bomb tank in Sector 4, so hopefully he figures it out by then. But now, they're heading back down to Sector 5 to use that data room again, and this time they're getting the loudest power-up, the power bombs. Power bombs being exactly the way you remember them, they explode in a large oval, just blowing up everything in their path. This time they also reveal blocks and suck X-parasites toward them, a nice little vacuum effect, so they're more useful.
Mandatoby has to pick up the main deck here. Yeah, this is what I mentioned earlier. He's just going to jump up and do 1 ledge grab versus 2 ledge grabs.
Yes.
But Scrubbuster picked that missile up early on, and now the lead kind of grew just because of that.
Yeah, that's always one of the downsides of folks doing a slightly different item order. I mean, in the end, it all cancels out, but it makes it a little bit hard to figure out who's in the lead when they seem like they're on top of each other, but there's something that's different in their ordering.
I'm getting a request here to do our best power bomb impression.
Seriously?
Give it a shot. In before what faces?
But and this game is so proud of its power bombs that it gives you 74 of them. But Scrubbuster has the power bombs, and now we're going to be using them actually pretty heavily because they are actually very useful. Although we do still get too many of them.
If there's one thing you'll notice about this game is that the game wants you to use your power up right away. So you'll see what I mean here soon. The only way to progress through Sector 5 is to use a power bomb, and that was only moments after you picked up the upgrade.
Yes, indeed. And also, apparently there's supposed to be a sax chase in this room here. At least that's what I've been told. You never actually see the sax. Oh, okay. For a second there, I thought you had dropped there for a second, but okay, we're good.
I want to take a recording of your powerbomb impression and just overlay it every time I use powerbomb in my runs.
You're gonna have to come back. You're gonna have to go back and clip that or something because I don't have time to do it right now. Yeah, yes, the saxophone. Is that the sax becomes a lot less scary when you start imagining smooth jazz playing every time it shows up.
I kind of imagine Epic Sax Guy instead. Just
Yes,
a
the
red
sax
glove and some shades.
the sax solo from Careless Whisper is my go-to for the for sax appearing. Yes.
Every time she walks, you just hear that Epic Sax Guy music.
Yes. Oh, Scrubbuster going into one of the annoying puzzle rooms with the Rippers and Ice Missiles. Let's see if he can get it first try. That looks promising. I like that positioning.
Pretty good positioning. Don't forget, there are combo blocks here. Okay.
Yes. All right. Gets it first try. Very nice. That's a deceptively tricky room. I've seen all sorts of people, including some really, really good people who you wouldn't associate, get that second try or even third try in a couple of cases. So you can never take that room for granted.
Mandatoby doing Mandatoby strats there. Rolling through the little tunnel there and unmorphing to missile.
Hey, whatever works. But the good news is we're done with Sector 5 for now, and the computer wants us to come back to the ship and have a little meeting. So back up to the main deck we go. I'm not sure why. Maybe he just wants us to leave. That'd be kind of nice. This run is a little bit long. So let's... It's actually also a great time to mention something that always kind of made me scratch my head about this game. The elevators, they're kind of slow, and the sound they make just sounds so sad. Why do the elevators sound so sad in this game?
I have no idea. Like, I mean, I don't think Super Metroid has elevator sounds.
It does. It's just very quiet. A little quick note about the thing that Scrubbuster just did there. That little tunnel there, if you drop the power bomb too early when you're dropping down, it actually causes that tunnel to break from two different spots, and that leaves you blocks that you have to blow up on the way. So dropping the power bomb below the crumble blocks is what you have to do, otherwise you waste more time by having to drop an additional power bomb.
I think I know what it is. It's the sound of the elevator is like that to keep the scientists in check. Like, you don't want the scientists to be happy in a space station with like military monsters and stuff like that. So you kind of get them depressed so that they don't do anything crazy. Like, you know, playing fetch with Nightmare or something like that.
How would... But Nightmare's mouth is sewn shut. How would it be able to fetch?
He's got hands.
That just feels disingenuous. Like entering a foot race with a bicycle. Oh god, the power's out though. We weren't paying attention when we missed it. Thankfully yours is not, but the station's is. So we have to go and figure out what the heck is going on. It turns out the answer is a terrible boss. So Scrubbust and Mandatoby on their way to said terrible boss, one of the community's generally regarded least favorite bosses, Yakuza. Is basically a giant spider with an angry face that likes to not open its weak spot to you.
Yeah, if Scrubbust is lucky here, he'll get 4 round. If he's unlucky, he'll get a 4 round. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, well, first thing they gotta do is, once they get into the room, is you can actually hurt it before it appears on screen. So you're going to see them both shoot straight up and scroll the screen, because if you fire missiles while the screen is scrolled, it hits it before it appears.
Scrubbust picking up that red X unnecessarily. More than enough missiles for Yakuza. So if he gets anything less than a 4 round, clearly he's using a TAS.
Oh, Yakuza not opening its mouth. Oh, Scrub. Scrub not
There
having
you
much
go.
luck.
The 4 round, so we know for sure that Scrubbuster is not playing Tass. And he is both lucky and unlucky at the same time. Mandatoby getting, that's two rounds.
3
For
round.
Mandatoby.
Ooh.
3, okay, 3.
Now, let's see what happens now, because phase 2 is always a little bit RNG unless you're Eagle and hit every single missile. And then, when out with ice missiles, the doubles are, again, more challenging. Although Scrub, having no trouble getting 2 doubles there. Can he get the 3? He can. And the sweet spot. That was a perfect Core X fight. Toby having trouble with doubles, and that's going to cost him a few seconds.
He does get a double there. Overall, Mandatoby did gain some time against Scrubbuster due to the RNG. Could have gained a little bit more time if he had the triple double.
Yeah, that's like I keep saying, that in this game, especially when you're playing at a high level, little things can make a world of difference. So being able to hit those double missiles consistently, getting that sweet spot, having clean movement, these are things that when you're practicing around doing PB attempts might not seem like you're doing a lot, but in a race you can close the gap really, really quickly if you're consistent at these things.
One thing to note that for every boss fight, the Core X's health progressively increases. So while you do pick up the missile upgrade, super missile upgrade, you're still fighting a Core X that has more health than the last one.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't make the fight trivial. You know, if the Core X's health was the same as the Charge Beam Core X or Arachnus Core X.
You see Scrubbuster dropping a power bomb in a room and then leaving immediately. That's actually setting that up for later on during cleanup. We'll be back there. Meanwhile, after that harrowing sack skip, which was a little bit nerve-wracking for anyone playing this game casually, at least it was for me, less so here, we're on our way to the most relaxing boss, because it doesn't move, and you just stand there pushing 2 buttons to kill it.
Yeah, this is one of the bosses that I mentioned earlier, where your primary source of damage is a missile. Mostly because, well, it's faster. If Charge Beam shot as fast as missile, we'd obviously be using Charge Beam. So, in this case, it's quantity over quality of the shots here.
Yeah, against a stationary target with practically 0 invincibility frames, missiles do more damage, but
Yeah.
that's the exception rather than the rule. Getting 1 double on this Core X. This is one of my least favorite Core X's to fight, because this is actually, the room is kind of short, and with Ice Missile, it's hard to get the doubles, but Scrubbuster getting the double anyway. And now he has the Plasma Beam, the beam which in pretty much 95% of cases is the best beam. Because now the shots travel through enemies and do damage per frame that they're inside an enemy hitbox.
Unfortunately, that beam will be rendered useless by the next boss because his face stops the plasma beam from traveling through it.
Yep, that's unfortunate, making it the other boss where missiles are your primary source of damage.
You know what's really interesting is that if you instead had wide beam, you would be doing more damage to Nightmare.
That's right. Because wide beam, like every other beam, also increases the damage of your beam shots. So even with the normal beam, it would be doing more damage. But wide beam. Hold on, I think I just said something weird there. Okay, no. That's right. Plasma beam does less damage on impact because it does more damage per frame inside hitbox.
Right.
So on the surface it looks worse, but since it also travels through enemies, in most cases it'll do more damage. There we go. There we go.
Fortunately, this game isn't like, I don't know, Castlevania, where if you hit something, it has iframes. Otherwise, your plasma beam would be extremely useless. Actually, the SAX fight later on in the game, will you'll see that the runners will have to ice stun lock SAX to get maximum damage per frame, because SAX does have iframes when it gets hit, but those iframes are stopped by the fact that she's locked in ice.
It's true. The SAX strat is basically a very tight sequence of beam and missile, and I actually still have trouble with it. The timing is extremely tight. But now it's time for Paulsmore's favorite trick that only he does, the Nightmare Space Boost. Actually, I'm kidding. I don't think either of these guys do it. We're probably just going to see them do a horizontal Shine Spark through several rooms here. At least that's what Scrubbuster seems to be setting up for. There he goes.
It's still something really nice to see.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
It also gives you time to go to the bathroom, tweet
Yeah.
your friends, cook some popcorn,
Catch up on your social media. And now let's see if he can shoot this wall. Yes, he gets the block in the wall. Thankfully. If you miss that block while you're falling, you have to come back later once you get the gravity suit, which is a detour, because you don't actually come back into this room otherwise.
Scrubbuster having some difficulty here.
Putting on a
Mandatoby
show.
is fully caught up, but keep in mind that Mandatoby is one missile pack behind the Scrubbuster, so they do look synced right now, but it's not the case.
It's also a great time to point out that this game likes to play mean tricks, because you saw that Toby dropped a power bomb. If you use a power bomb in that room to try to reveal the crumble blocks, it actually makes a vertical metal bar block the energy tank, so you have to reset the room. But now just a couple of items to grab on the way to Nightmare. And Nightmare is a boss you probably hated when you were playing this game casually. It's a bit annoying. Less so in... Ooh, that's a really low power bomb.
Yeah. Good idea for Scrubbuster there to reset the room instead of waiting for the power bomb to blow up. You saved a little bit of time reacting the way he did.
Yeah, absolutely. Bombs in this game have very long fuses. Power bombs take a while, and even normal bombs take so long that you can't even use them to bomb jump in this game unless you use a very specific jump bomb, a JBJ specifically, which only is useful in like 1 or 2 spots.
So Mandatoby getting the easy peasy ledge grab to see if Scrubbuster can get it, no problem.
Right. Alright, well, it's time for one of my favorite games in the Fusion run. What the heck does Nightmare look like to you? Because we've heard all sorts of things. We've heard a softball. We've heard a cat in a microwave. Ross, I believe it reminds you of your gelatin when you make it. I'm not sure what the heck kind of gelatin you're making. So what does Nightmare look like to you? Please answer in chat.
He looks like an armored caterpillar.
Armored caterpillar? That's a new one.
Or the 5th Ninja Turtle brother.
Definitely has one of the more interesting and memorable tunes in the game, though, is the boss fight.
Yeah, you know
Giant-
what? He is the 5th Ninja Turtle brother. He's Nightmare Angelo.
Nightmare
He's Nightmare Angelo, believe it or not, is also a Renaissance artist that no one really speaks of because he draws really strange things.
I have no words.
So Mandatoby pulling ahead of Scrubbuster there with a good night. Well, it wasn't as good as Scrubbuster's, but Scrubbuster did have some issues regarding item pickup here in Sector 5.
Yep, so let's see. Neither of them forgets this power bomb tank, so with that, they're done with Sector 5 for now, but now this is Toby's chance. We're heading into Sector 4 for the underwater section, so this is Toby's chance to, if he remembers, to go get that missile tank when he's leaving Sector 4 this time. So we'll see what he does. But first, they have to get through the most annoying room in the game.
Toby having, I would rate that like a 6 out of 10 worst room. Scrub Bus, no different, also having pretty bad worst room.
Yeah, the weird floor and ceiling and how hard it is to hit those enemies with angled shots makes them very annoying to deal with, because you can't just kill them with normal beam shots. You have to use a charge beam or freeze them with missiles, and the angles are just difficult to hit. And why did Scrub leave the room there? Because his power bomb was too far back. It wouldn't have revealed the missile blocks.
Yep.
Then we had little baby Dragons.
Maybe Mandatoby might do like a secret message and then pick up the missile tank. That's my guess.
If he did that, he would he would automatically win the entire tournament. I'm just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. And Scribble's having a little bit of trouble dropping down, but oh, good. So I just realized that Toby has actually pulled a surprisingly big lead here.
Yep, and this is all due to the fact that Toby has more hours put in on 100% than Scrubbuster does. So now we're playing in Mandatoby's field versus Scrubbuster.
Oh no, okay. I was worried for a second there that Scrubbuster had grabbed too many of the X's and it wouldn't have reformed into the 2 gold enemies. Yeah, that's actually a recurring puzzle gimmick where you have to kill enemies and they reform as other enemies. But sometimes the X's are flying around in weird circles and you will accidentally grab them. That actually happened to be in my last race in the Sector 5 puzzle room.
So no secret message confirmed. Well, he has to pick this one up first. Is he going to backtrack for secret message? The answer is no.
Mandatoby playing games with my heart.
Oh, and he gets to freeze on the mini Dragon there, which is a surprisingly difficult thing to do.
I didn't even know you could do that.
It makes that room just a tad bit faster, because you could use him as a platform.
I believe it. Speaking of making things faster, it's time for one of the more difficult tricks in Sector 4 underwater here. A very tight shine shard. Oh, he pause buffers it, and he gets the safe setup.
He almost gets hit by the Keigo. It's super close.
Taking a little bit of a safety strat there, but you know, I'll actually totally accept it there, because screwing up that trick, requiring you to come back down here and get a new charge, would waste a lot of time. So I'm not down on him for doing pause buffering there.
We must remove all pause buffers from the game. Oh, Eagle talking about some pause buffers when he himself did it yesterday.
Oh,
you can't be like that, Eagle.
Ross calling out people in chat. All right, now here's a spot. Here's the spot. Toby right now is going to go get the final item in Sector 4 you normally get. Well, the 2 final items. If he does not take the detour to grab that missile tank he missed when he goes to get this power bomb tank, then he's in trouble. He's in trouble because he's on his way to 99% town, and that's not what you want to be doing in 100%.
He's going back. Okay, he's gonna pick up the power bomb tank here.
Yeah,
but is he gonna go up and to the left after picking this tank?
Yeah, that's what's going to come down to. He has to, otherwise he's handing Scrub Bus to the race. Oh no, he's not going back. Wait, he checked. He checked.
Now he sees it. Okay.
He sees it.
Oh. And I think he knows exactly where it is too. So he's gonna go around and pick it up.
I have to imagine through his head, it was like, wait, did I get that thing? Yeah, he figured it out. He figured it out. That's a relief. But he's going to lose a lot of time here. This is probably going to let Scrubbuster take the lead. Yeah, he sees it.
All right, this might be a giant detour for Mandatoby. He's going to lose time here, but There is still about 30 minutes in the game left, so
Yeah.
definitely has time to catch up here. Luckily
Yeah.
enough, he was able to get the thing and ensure that he'll finish with 100% and have a chance at it. Because
Yeah.
it would suck. I know, like certain Mickey now might feel that you could win the race but lose because you have 98% or something like that. I'm just calling everyone out. This is great. I love being a commentator.
Why do you keep calling out people who I was racing? And he beat my 98% world record with that race, I'll have you know. But we're starting to get to the end of the normal sector back and forthing here, because we're on our way to Sector 6 for the last time before cleanup to fight our old friend Box. We fought in Sector 3 is back and is now inhabited by the X-Parasites, because yeah, who'd have thought the machine had organic components? How very Star Trek Voyager of it. And now we just call it the Xbox. Now, as to whether or not you think that Xbox or Box 1 is the harder fight, that actually depends. There's the debate rages on, depending on who you ask. I say Box 1 is the harder fight. A lot of folks will say Box 2 is the harder fight. But seeing both Scrub and Toby do some R shooting to get that door open. R shooting being a trick that's not useful at all in casual play, but in a few spots, particularly in Sector 6 cleanup, it's incredibly useful to pull off some tricks you couldn't pull off otherwise. R shooting, let me explain real quick here since we have some time. While you're somersaulting while space boosting being basically space jumping while you are speed boosting, is useful in a lot of spots because it's faster than shine sparking, since you don't have to worry about the wind up and the bonk animations. But if there are doors in your way, and you try to stop and shoot them, it just pulls you out of your space boost, and you just lose all your speed. Unless you're holding that charge while you're somersaulting, and then you press the R button. If you do that, the game says, oh, okay, you want to fire a missile. Normally when you do that, it always fires your normal charge beam shot before it lets you fire a missile. And if you do it while somersaulting, it doesn't pull you out of the somersault. So you can shoot while you're space boosting and keep space boosting. Alright, taking a breath here. You're up, Ross. Excuse me. Okay, I guess not. Okay, this is Xbox. Now, instead of having those fire bombs, it has missiles, and it has a shorter room, so you gotta be careful. That's why you're seeing Toby take the diagonal shots and back off, because when it jumps, it can and will knock you off the ceiling bars, and the water's electrified.
Sorry, doggos being doggos.
Okay, no worries. For a second there, I was just worried that you might have just lost your power. But you just missed,
Did it feel like Mandatoby caught up a little bit?
I think he did a little bit, but he's still a few rooms behind. And in case you were worried this game wasn't going to have any title drops, here you go. Have some Metroids in your Metroid game.
I believe it's because of the outrage of where are all the advanced Metroids in Super Metroid and Zero Mission?
Ah, yes.
Oh, well, no. Zero Mission came out after Fusion.
Yes, it did. I don't know. I guess it's one of those just image recognition things. Where when you say Metroid, everyone thinks of the little hatchling Metroids, and you show one of the other monsters, they just look kind of like monsters. They're not as quickly recognizable as Metroids as the little flying space jellyfish are. Nowhere near as cute either. So unfortunately for us, though, Scrubbuster currently in it, and Toby about to start up the second longest dialogue in the entire run. Computer's gonna start getting real chatty here.
So after Ridley, we're gonna start the cleanup phase, and this is what I was talking about earlier, where Scrubbuster is basically gonna be in Mandatoby's world now, because the any percent route is over, and as you know, Scrubbuster is tied for world record in any percent. But as far as 100% goes, he only only recently started picking up 100%. So he may have some movement, not perfect movement, in where Mandatoby can hope to catch up, because he's got some 100 runs of 100%, and it's going to be really interesting in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I agree completely, because cleanup is something that, because you said that 100% is basically any percent with more items, but that's true up until cleanup, because cleanup is something any percent does not do. So at this point, Scrubbuster his any percent experience applies a lot less.
That's right. So it would be good for Scrubbuster here to try and save as much time as possible and keep a strong lead before cleanup starts.
First, he has to get to this final major Core X boss and deal with some gold pirates. Gold pirates are one of my favorite tricks in this run, because you see you're supposed to shoot them in the back, but instead you see that both of them are just going to shoot and quickly turn around. I can only imagine that's because the programmers took a bit of a shortcut there, figuring if Samus is facing the same direction as the pirate, she's obviously standing behind them. But we trick it. We trick the game instead, and I find that hilarious. Now it's time for Ridley, the boss who's just happy to be here, but don't take my word for it. Listen to that happy screaming. He thought we had forgotten and neglected him, but no, we're here and he's just so happy.
Ridley sapped the happy music out of the elevators for himself. That's what happened.
Oh my god, you might be right. And now that we figured out his trick, he's exploding in shame. Oh, Scrubbuster getting the doubles.
Double there. Yeah.
That's 2 doubles.
I couldn't tell from the diffusion.
I think that was 3 doubles.
No, the first one was not a double, so he could have had 2 doubles.
But any doubles on Ridley are good, because diffusion missile doubles are extremely difficult. They're easily the hardest doubles to get.
Mandatoby missing the first double attempt, missing the second one. He gets that one. One more double ought to do it for Toby, and he misses it.
Or
so
2 singles.
2 doubles versus 1 double.
Alright, but like Ross said though, we are now in cleanup, and cleanup is going to be the most critical part of this run, because no more eye doors, no more Core X's until the second to last boss. So at this point, we are in pure execution town. Cleanup is all execution. You have no one to blame but yourself if you have a bad cleanup. And this is also something you don't do in any percent, like we said, so Scrubbuster has to play as well as he can, otherwise Toby's going to have the advantage with learning the tricks and the execution here, I'd say, just from experience.
Yep, and cleanup is what separates the scrubs from the mans.
How long have you been sitting on that joke?
I actually just thought of it right now.
Oh. That was terrible, and I actually liked it, and I'm ashamed that I liked it. Since you were causing physical pain for some people in the chat, which means that's the sign of a good joke. But yeah, we're gonna see Scrub attempt a Shine Spark, which, oh no, he bonked into the door. This is a Shine Spark, which is not really a difficult one, but the problem is if you mess it up for one reason or another, you're probably gonna have to take at least anywhere between 1 to 4 extra screen transitions to make it up. So you do not want to be screwing up these 2 Shine Sparks in this area.
Yeah, he's giving Mandatoby room to catch up now. It's gonna feel like Mandatoby didn't miss that Sector 4 item at all.
Yeah, thankfully, if he figured out that of all the spots he could have realized he was missing it, cleaning up that last Sector 4 item was the best spot, because he was right next to it. Alright, Scrub not screwing up that second Shine Spark, thankfully. But they're almost done with Sector 1 cleanup here, just a couple more things to grab, and they're going to be on their way to Sector 3.
So Mandatoby failing the dirty pause buffer strats there. He wanted to skip the door transition, but he got it anyway, so he's going to lose a little bit of time here, at least to his standards.
Yeah, but cleanup actually is not horribly bad until you get to Sector 6. Sector 6 cleanup is by far the worst part of cleanup, followed probably by Sector 2, which is immediately after. So the first part of cleanup is just kind of a little, not leisurely, but it's not terrible. But once you get to Sector 6, that's where things really pick up. That's actually where I'm going to be interesting to see what happens, because Toby, I'm sure, knows the fast strats and all the space boosts. But if Scrubbust is not as experienced with the space boost, he's probably going to take the safety strats, and that could be more time that Toby gains.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't discount the fact that either the runners could just miss it completely.
But at the same time, I did just see Scrubbust to do that space boost through the door in Sector 1, which is very similar to the one in Sector 6, so he might surprise us. I'm definitely curious to see what happens in Sector 6 here. Apologize for the silence. There's not too much to say here. At this point, we're just moving through the odd-numbered sectors in increasing order than the even-numbered sectors in reverse order. So we're finishing up Sector 1, and we're using these hidden tunnels to make our way into Sector 3 now, which just has a couple of space boosts here to get some items, and then we're just on our way out immediately.
I don't think anyone's ever counted the items prior to cleanup. It also, like, it's kind of interesting. I did something like that for a Zero mission where you can get up to, I believe it's 79% before cleanup phase. Something like that, but I don't know, because the issue is that some of the items that they skip until cleanup are items that you can get before cleanup, but they opt to skip it because it's faster.
Yeah, that was actually the case for the one missile tank in Sector 1 where you space jumped up the vertical shaft next to the save room.
Mandatoby, I really feel like Mandatoby is catching up. It maybe has gained like a few seconds here or there, because soon enough they're going to be in the same room. Yeah,
they're very close to each other, but there's still a couple of spots where if Toby plays better than Scrub, pulls off a couple of tricks. Even coming up here, we're going back to the left after these two tanks here. It's possible to do a space boost through moving left back toward where the emergency was, and it requires a very tight diagonal shot and then starting the space boost. And if you miss that, you lose a lot of time on just moving through that room normally. So if one of them gets it and the other one doesn't, especially, like, for example, if Scrub misses it and Toby gets it, he's already ahead right there, just on that.
Fortunately, they have the weight beams, so hitting that door is not as hard as it seems.
Yeah, but it's still a bit tight, because if you jump even a little bit too late, you will bonk on the wall and lose your speed. So let's see if Scrubbuster gets it here. He gets it. Oh wait, you can actually just shoot horizontally there? I thought you had to shoot diagonally.
No, the weight beam is large enough that it hits the door.
Well, now I feel like a dope.
Both runners getting the space boost. Toby will not carry it through this room here. Instead, will instantly morph after opening the door.
But yeah, they're staying right on each other's tails. It's really going to come down to a single trick at this rate. If they both keep getting it,
like
then
a single Sector 6 power bomb trick.
oh god, that power bomb. Oh. I'm just going to throw this out there. They both get it first try and then get like reverse as well. I'm just going to just lose it. I'm just going to be. I can't even think. It's just going to be sounds coming out of my mouth that are not words.
Oh, so Scrubbuster having difficulty with the ladder climb while Mandatoby executing it perfectly. He's gaining time on Scrubbuster right now. Like, it's all execution, and like I said, in any percent, you don't do ladder climbs at all. So this is something that Mandatoby knows how to do.
Oh no! Oh no! Here it is, right here.
Oh,
the Shine Spark, and he is right on top of Scrubbuster now.
What is it? 1 second behind? Oh no! And Scrubbuster forgot to do. Okay, no, he gets it. Okay, I didn't think he had enough room for the Shine Spark there, but it looked like he had just enough. And they are neck and neck right now.
In the same door transition and everything. Both heading into Sector 5, which is pretty simple. There's five things you have to grab, but they're all pretty much along the way. Nothing terribly difficult.
Oh, Scrubbuster not morphing right away, and now Mandatoby has the lead.
Toby has taken the lead.
All it took was for Scrubbuster to not press down twice fast enough for Mandatoby to get the lead.
Oh. Now those little movement mistakes are going to start making a world of difference again.
Yeah, now it's all optimization. As you saw there, Mandatoby froze those pancakes so that he could cancel the slow space jump and get on the ground so they could space jump again. But Scrubbuster decided to just space jump through the top without stopping. So Mandatoby's sporting, it seems like a 5-second lead now.
Oh, I think Scrubbuster knows that he's making mistakes here. He might be. I'm not sure if he's following the stream or not, but it seems like he's after that first one. He's starting to. He's making several more small mistakes. I wonder if he just kind of knows what's going on and is kind of beating himself up over it a bit. Oh, but here we go.
My popcorn is starting to taste really good right now. I'm just eating a lot of it.
Oh, but here we go. Here's the sector that's going to really make or break this race. Sector 6. Sector 6 cleanup is the hardest cleanup. And, oh, Toby opting for the horizontal Shine Spark strat.
Yeah, taking no risks here. He's going to bonk that ceiling so that he can get down faster.
And Scrub doing the exact same thing. Which I can't really blame anyone for taking that, because the space boost strat is unquestionably faster, but messing it up wastes so much time, especially if you mess it up in anything but the very first room.
Scrubbuster trying to find the spot where he can get a shot, and he...
Oh no!
Oh, that's 10 seconds. That is 10 seconds.
Oh, Scrub. Oh, I was worried he was going to jump too far there. Oh, yeah, man.
He almost misses it.
This is it has me on the edge of my seat here.
Yeah, this is definitely inexperience showing here for Scrubbuster. Mandatoby getting through these puzzle rooms with very little problem.
I guess that's one of the things I like about Fusion 100% as a category, especially for races, is that even oh no, Toby!
I'm just gonna not say things that.
No, I will say a thing though, which is, even though it's a long race, yes, but things really heat up during cleanup, because cleanup is a.
Scrubbuster gets. He makes the same mistake.
Oh no! Wait, does Toby miss it a second time?
No, he did not.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Scrubbuster with a chance to catch up, misses the opportunity, and now Mandatoby's still getting that. Seems like 10 to 15 second lead now, maybe more.
Well, we're still coming up on that power bomb tank, so Scrubbuster's crumble jumps are on point. And Toby's are not. It could change in this room. Everyone, place your bets. How many attempts will it take for Mandatoby to get this power bomb tank? One. Ooh, getting the ball jump.
Getting that 2 try.
Two try. Now let's see. Place your bets for Scrubbuster. How many attempts will it take for Scrubbuster to grab this power bomb tank?
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. And he gets it the second try.
Very
Good
nice.
Job. Good job.
All right, so no time lost, no time gained. Things stay pretty even. Oh, Toby going for the fast strat. Oh, unfortunately landing earlier than he wanted to.
So Scrubbuster almost had a disastrous mistake there where he triggered the crumble block, but he was able to get to jump over it. If he had fallen through, he would have had to gone around again. So,
that would have been terrible.
Yeah, it would have been really bad, but he fortunately was able to react to that.
Yeah, at this point that would have almost certainly been GG. Scrubbuster would have essentially been unable to come back. But at this point, still possible. It's still close enough that if anything goes wrong, and you still have Sector 2 cleanup, and then also the final 2 bosses.
Yeah, I have no doubts that Scrubbuster will get the 4-shot sacks and the triple-double. He just needs to catch up right now because it won't matter if he's this far behind.
Yeah. So, with Sector 6 behind us, we're going to, like I said before, nothing to do in Sector 4 now. We're just going to be passing through really quickly on our way to Sector 2. And Sector 2 has a couple of tricks that can gain some time back for Scrub if he decides to go for them. Or if Toby has trouble with. There's one more puzzle room involving crumble blocks. And actually 2. And one of them we've actually called Crumble City, which is where Toby is heading right now. Let's see if he drops the power bomb for us.
It'd be a shame to see Mandatoby's lead crumble here. Oh, so close. And he gets it the first try.
Oh my goodness. No, Crumble City is no joke, though.
It's not.
No, because we did in fact see last night Scotty perilously close to tying the second place time on the board with getting a 105, but he took a tumble in Crumble City, and that was enough to give him a 106 instead of a 105. And
Very
my
nice.
heart broke.
Yeah.
But both of them getting it first try, thankfully.
Yeah, Scrubbuster not crumbling to the pressure there.
Certainly not. I'm trying to figure out if I can crumble your face through the internet for making those jokes.
Very few items left to pick up now. Scrubbuster needs to do something here to catch up and hopefully regain the lead. Otherwise, this is Mandatoby's race to win. I don't think Mandatoby will make any big mistakes.
Oh.
Yes!
Toby, please. No, with that at this point, after getting that room, it's pretty much at this point, Toby would pretty much have to choke on one of the 2 last boss fights in order to throw away the lead now. That was probably the last chance he had of making any serious mistakes.
It almost felt like his lead just fell through the cracks there. Scrubbuster deciding to go through this the intended way.
Yeah, which to be fair is there's no, again no shame in that. This room can be very challenging, and getting it second or third try resetting room versus just doing it the intended route once is. It's all about consistency in racing, and it's, sometimes you just gotta take a slightly slower strat if you're more comfortable with it. But one last puzzle room. One last puzzle room with one last trick, in fact. So I don't know. Does Toby usually go for the crumble charge?
He could. I mean, he'd have to if he wants to save time. On the other side, Mandatoby doesn't even need to do it. He's actually going to pick this item up first.
All right. So he's just opting for the safe strat there, but he is going for the. Oh, I thought he was going to just go for all the jump charges there instead of landing first. Just a little bit faster, but not necessary.
He's playing it safe now. I think he knows that he's in the lead, and he's going to play it safe.
I can't blame him. I really can't. But with that, that's the end of Sector 2. Oh, he still manages to get an unbuffered Shine Break anyway, just for swag, because that's not really faster.
He's showing everyone that he could have done it if he wanted to.
He just didn't want to. But with that, Toby's done.
Also taking it safely here, making sure to land on the platforms before doing the Shine Spark.
Yep. But he's opting to get this missile tank after. Which I think that if you're not going to do the crumble strat, that getting this first is actually faster.
Scrub us with the Wind Spark there.
Oh no.
Gonna have to go back and reapply Shine Spark and get it. Yeah, it's looking very, very dark for Scrubbusta. I don't think he's gonna pull off the W here, despite the fact that he was in the lead for a majority of the race.
No, it looks like really it did this time as it does a lot of other times. It comes down to cleanup. Cleanup is one of the longest stretches of pure skill execution in this run. And Toby's experience really is shining through here. But let's see. This is heading into the room to get the final pickup. This power bomb tank is the last pickup in 100%. So let's see if he pulls up his start menu to check.
If I was him, I would, because I missed that item the last time, or in Sector 4. I want to make sure that I have everything, because who knows, he might have missed something else.
It's true, but just based on us watching him, I don't think he missed anything else. He should be fine. But he's been using so many power bombs though that he's only at 4. We have no way of knowing if there's another 70 there that he could be having. Well, so anyways,
it doesn't matter now. He locked the room. He's talking to Adam. Adam's gonna lock all the other rooms except for the ones that lead to the navigation deck, where he will trigger the Sax fight.
Yeah, but if you want to go to the bathroom or make yourself a sandwich or several sandwiches, now's the time, because this sequence of cutscenes here that Toby is in and Scrub's about to be in are by far the longest in the entire game. And they're playing on English, so they're extra long. So I'm just going to take a moment to and have myself a little drink of iced tea here, clear my throat.
The X hunger for form, knowledge, and power. They mimic these. The X must not leave here. I must destroy them all before the Federation arrives. This station has a self-destruct mechanism. I must use it to destroy... I tried, guys.
Didn't try hard enough.
These speedrunners are so fast with their text, don't even give me time to read it.
How inconsiderate. But anyways, it's time for the big spoiler reveal. At least that would be the case if Ross hadn't accidentally dropped the bomb there. That the computer is actually Adam, who Samus has been talking about this entire time. And with that big reveal, it's time to go fight the SAX and put that thing to sleep once and for all. Well, I still have to wonder, what the heck is it with the future and everything having a self-destruct mechanism? Seriously.
Well, it might not be the future. Like I said, it could be like Star Wars, where this is the distant past.
Okay, what is it with technology that is more advanced than what we have? So quote unquote future tech, in whatever time period, and having self destructs on everything.
Um, I don't know. I mean, they like flashy, explodey things.
God, I'm just imagining a freaking like the Tesla car of the future for some reason will have a self destruct or something, because of course it will. But
It would
anyways,
suck though if like you had a GPS system, right, and it say that you're driving too fast, slow down, or I'm gonna blow up.
it's emergency on Route 3.
Mandatoby getting the what looked like a 6 beam on SAX, but as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter. Scrubbuster could have the perfect fight, but it does not matter at this point.
Yeah, at this point, unless Toby manages to somehow die here or on the final boss, it's pretty much decided. But still, they're so close to each other, even with this gap opening here. Yeah, and it's important to mention that, like we mentioned before, the thing is that normally a charged beam on SAX knocks it back, so you have to hit it with the ice missile really quickly. The window is very short.
Oh, Scrubbuster missing the second shot there. He is at risk of soft locking. Okay, he did not, so that's good.
You know, considering how much we talk about that soft lock, it's not really that common to get unless you're fighting right near the edge of the screen.
The way the soft, so he gets a triple double there, as I expected.
That is very tricky. Good on him.
Yeah, he's very consistent at the triple double. But like you'd have to kill that mutated SAX in a way that it dies as it turns its body to get the soft lock. So missing the second shot there greatly increases the chance of you soft blocking because it's gonna jump again as soon as it lands, and you know you might just very well kill it while it's turning. So always make sure, boys and girls, that when you're killing mutated SAX, you kill it in 2 shots.
Yes, indeed. But with that, both of them on their way out of the station. To put this game and this whole X-Parasite nonsense to rest, Toby did not get the low-height Shine Spark to escape, but let's see if Scrubbuster can get it.
Okay, so we see all E-tanks, 250 missiles, and 74 power bombs from Mandatoby. Also getting
Scrub
the
got
quick
it.
upstrut.
Scrub gets it, the low-height Shine Spark. Look at that swag. But unfortunately, it's not going to be enough, because with that, Toby is finished with an SRL time of 1:47.42, and he is our winner today.
So here's the question. Does SAX come in here to rescue you, or because it wants to absorb the Metroid?
I think it's a threat thing, because the SAX hates Metroids, and the Omega Metroid is the biggest threat, so it's here to try to take care of the biggest threat.
But if an X-Parasite is prey, aren't they supposed to run away from threats?
Possibly, but possibly which is why I think we don't see any other X-Parasites. But the SAX is the most powerful thing that these X-Parasites have. It's the only thing that they have that has a chance of beating Metroids. Otherwise, the SAX would run from you instead of coming after you.
But Samus is not the parasite's natural predator.
No, but Samus is part Metroid, which is why it knows to freeze you and hit you with missiles. Remember, oh, and Toby's here. Let's stop talking about lore like dorks and talk to Toby. Congratulations, Toby.
Mandatoby, how? Oh, he said his mic is broken. Okay, I'll ask him questions and then I'll just repeat what he says. How worried were you when you realized that you missed the missile in Sector 4 after Ceres?
Yeah, you had us worried for a bit there, because that was an unconventional missile to miss.
He said it scared the living daylight out of him.
Okay, he's fixing the mic. He'll be back with us in a moment. But Scrubbusta finishing right behind him with an SRL time of 1:48.24, less than a minute apart.
Hello.
Hi, Toby. Congratulations.
Hey there. Hey
Yeah,
guys.
so could you just tell us your thoughts on missing that missile?
Yeah. I was worried about my missile count earlier, like, because I realized after beating Cyrus, I only had 40 missiles, and you were supposed to have 45. So I was completely, like, I was thinking about what I forgot, and then I think because I was so focused about, like, rewinding the run, I must have just forgotten that item. And then, like, something rang a bell later, and I checked, and I was like, oh, this is not good. But how was the race overall? Like,
It was a really close race the whole time.
Yeah, it really was. You guys were exchanging the lead throughout, but you managed to pull forward during cleanup.
yeah, I had some major screw-ups, especially in early game. Like, I ran out of missiles in Sector 1, which was, like, really unfortunate. Yeah, because I skipped the missile, so I was going into Sector 1 with 20, I think, and then I just messed up a couple strats and tinked loads of missiles, and then I think I ran out at the third ventilator or something.
Yeah, you had to go and farm the frogs for the Idar.
Really sure. And then, because everything was going so badly, I decided not to do SAX skip, and then yeah, from there on I thought, like, okay, I'll just finish it no matter how it goes. And then more things started happening, like forgetting that missile and such. But like, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a very exciting race, and I know that you typically don't read the chat when you're racing, but the entire chat was saying, "Hey, Mandatoby missed this missile," like the whole time.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Someone even clipped it.
Oh, okay, I'll have to check that. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I should have focused more. I don't know. I hope my next round goes better.
Speaking of next run, that would put you. This is going to put you at a 3-1. I want to say, yeah, 3-1. Which
nice. Is there one more run coming up?
Yeah, there's one more round. So 3-1 will actually put you. Actually, it's going to be interesting because that means that you, Eagle, and I are all tied at 3-1. And I can't race you again because you were my first race. So one of us is going to race Eagle, and the other one of us might have a bye.
Well, I've raced Eagle before.
Oh, then what in the world are we going to do?
I was really hoping to race Herc, because, yeah, I just wanted to race Herc because he's like, he's got 108 as well, and it would have been really close.
Well, but I think Herc is probably going to race Phazon Knight, so, but we'll see. We'll see. Well, let's get final confirmation here. We're both on the same screen of the. You guys finished so close to each other. God, what a good race! And there it is, 100% artwork. So with a clear time of 109, so close to that fabled 110. And Scrub
There's the 110.
There's the 110.
Oh my God! I finally get to see a 110. The greatest day of my life.
Scrubbusta has validated Ross's entire existence on this day.
Yes. Oh, I'm so hyped.
Nice.
It's either a 109 or a 111, and it makes me upset every time.
Yeah.
Finally get to see a 110. This is great.
Oh man. Like, I'm so glad we're finally doing a Fusion 100% tournament. Like, this is just such a great game and such a great category in my opinion. I was really looking forward. Like, that was the intentional reason why I started looking for other speedrunners, because I wanted to race this category and no one was interested in it. Like, nobody. And then, like, 2 years later, people say, like, oh, hey, let's do a 100% tournament. So I've been through 3 tournaments until this came up, and I'm so happy that it's finally there. Like, yeah, this couldn't be any better.
No, it's been a very wild tournament throughout. All sort upsets left and right, really close races. Just it's been a fantastic tournament.
Yeah, and then like loads of people dying to SAX skip and stuff. It's really good.
So I don't think Scrubbus is going to be joining us here. I don't see him I don't see him anywhere.
So what's up next on Speed Game? Is there another fusion race?
We have a fusion
yeah.
race at 5. Yes.
There's one in about 40 versus Monkey SMB, so it's gonna be on this channel as well. So I don't know that there's another game in between. Oh, no race at 5. It's been rescheduled, so the next race will be at 9 p.m. tonight.
Ooh, it's
Eastern.
a bit late.
Yeah, so it was postponed for 4 hours. So yeah, if you're interested in more fusion action, stick around, and in 4 hours we'll give you more.
Well, no, it's 9 p.m. Wednesday. 9 p.m. Wednesday.
Oh, jeez. I thought it said today. It's not tonight. Sorry.
Today is not Wednesday, Ross.
And well.
Oh, okay. No, Fiesel correcting us. Apparently, also not on 9 p.m. Wednesday, so it's getting moved again.
Well, if you're interested in more Metroid Fusion action,
it'll happen at some point eventually.
To be determined. Just wait for a to be determined amount of time.
Yeah, I'll go to YouTube. There are plenty of fusion videos there. Loads of action.
Toby, no.
Okay, so
yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys, for commentary. I'll actually leave now because it's kind of late over here. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks to Scrubbuster, and yeah, looking forward to the next race.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much for racing, Toby. Thanks for popping in, and congratulations on your win today.
Thanks. See you guys.
All right. So since that fusion race has been moved, you can look forward to next is at 7 p.m. We'll have, looks like the Super Metroid Rando tournament continues on this channel, and on Speed Gaming 2, Earthbound is starting up. I don't think is that tournament starting up right now? Is that a new tournament? Because I don't remember seeing that on the schedule before.
Yeah. Earthbound's a really exciting game to watch.
It's a cool run, yeah.
RPG. It's full of memes, and like this game was made in '95 or something like that, and it's full of memes, dude. Classic memes. Need to see.
Yeah, so on top of that, we also have Link to the Past entrance shuffle after that. So there's still a lot going on Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 for the rest of the night here. So
all right. That's all that I have. Anything for you, Crunchy?
Well, just again, GG to Scrubbusta and Mandatoby, and as always, shoutouts to Fiesel for keeping everything running behind the scenes. We couldn't do this without him. That's all I've got as well.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you stop by in about 3 hours. Watch that Earthbound or Super Metroid. And until the next race, I'll see you then.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. See you next mission.